I talk to so many women who say to me, Matthew, how do I know if he misses me? I don't want to play games. I just want to know that I'm not the only one thinking about him, aching for him. Wondering if I cross his mind when he's going through his day. And every time I hear that, I think you're asking the right question, but you're looking for the wrong signs, because you're not going to find the answer in how quickly he replies to a text. You're not going to find it in a like on your Instagram story. And you're certainly not going to find it in vague midnight messages that say miss you without any action behind them. If a man truly misses you, if he misses you with every cell in his body, you're going to feel it, not just in his words, but in his energy. You won't be sitting there second, guessing whether it's real. You won't be pacing around your living room trying to decode his behavior like it's some kind of emotional Sudoku puzzle. Because when a man misses you at that level, it radiates from him. Let me tell you something, men are not always great with words. I can say that. I am one. But we are incredible at showing up with energy when we care. We are driven by our desire, by our sense of loss, by the absence of something we didn't realize was that vital to our peace. And when a man starts to feel your absence like that, when he realizes that his world feels less full, less vibrant, less anchored without your presence, that's when the energy changes. That's when he starts thinking about the things he didn't appreciate when he had you. The way your eyes lit up when you were passionate about something. The way you always noticed the smallest things about him. That mole near his jaw that no one else ever seemed to care about. Or the way you instinctively knew when he was overthinking something without him saying a word. He remembers the comfort of you. The calm you brought to his storm. And that memory, it doesn't visit him politely. It haunts him. That's when a man starts to ache for you, not in a surface level way, not because he's bored or lonely or looking for a temporary dopamine hit, but because he's finally realized that your energy added something rare to his life. Something that can't be replaced by scrolling or dating apps or distractions or even the comfort of being alone. And here's what I want you to understand. You are not crazy for wanting to be felt. You're not needy. You're not too much. You are a woman who knows the power of her presence and refuses to settle for being tolerated when she should be treasured. You want to be missed because you gave something worth missing. And when you've truly been that person, when you've shown up with real love, real effort, a real care, your absence is not neutral, it's loud. It leaves a gap, it shakes things up in a way that makes a man sit with himself and realize, God, I had something real, and I let it go. Now, this is important. A man missing you doesn't always mean he's ready for you. Some men miss you profoundly and still aren't in a place where they can show up with what you deserve. Don't confuse longing with growth. Missing you doesn't mean he's become a better communicator. It doesn't mean he suddenly knows how to treat you right. But it does mean that what you offered landed. It hit. It made a mark. And if he's the kind of man who's capable of evolving, who's willing to step into that discomfort and ask himself the hard questions, then that missing you becomes a catalyst. Not a reason to guilt you back into his life, but a reason to grow into the man who's worthy of standing beside you. You see, when a man truly misses you, it's not just about what he wants back. It's about what he's willing to become to earn that place in your life again. That's where the real transformation happens. When the memory of you doesn't just create pain, it creates purpose. That's when he stops being reactive and starts becoming intentional. And let me be honest with you, most men don't get to that place unless they lose something real. Because a man often doesn't grow in the comfort of having you. He grows in the space where you used to be. He evolves in the echo of your absence. That's when he starts paying attention to his patterns. That's when he stops blaming and starts reflecting. That's when he thinks, what was it about her that made me feel so alive? And what was it in me that didn't protect that gift when I had it? And I want you to remember this. Your value is not determined by his ability to see it in the moment. Sometimes people don't see the value of gold until they've been sitting with sand for too long. Sometimes they don't know what warmth really is until they've felt the cold. But you already know what you gave. You already know who you were. And your job is not to chase a man into realizing that. Your job is to be so in love with your own energy, your own growth, your own boundaries, that you become magnetic to those who can match that frequency. Because when a man misses you with every fiber of his being and he's done the work, and he's grown, trust me, you won't have to guess. You won't have to analyze. You won't have to chase. He will come back with clarity, not confusion. With effort, not excuses. With consistency, not chaos. With intention, not impulse. Because a man who's truly missing you isn't just fantasizing about your body or the way you laughed at his jokes, or how good it felt to fall asleep next to you. He's remembering the standard you held, the way you didn't settle. The way you saw through his potential but refused to mother him, the way you knew your worth, and kept walking when it wasn't honored. That's what burns in his chest at 2 a.m. That's what lingers in the silence between distractions. That's what turns a memory into a lesson, and a lesson into a longing. But hear me when I say this. Just because he misses you doesn't mean you owe him another chance. Sometimes the point of being missed is not to go back. Sometimes it's to stand even firmer in your power and say, yes, you miss me, because I brought something extraordinary to your life. But that doesn't mean you get to re-enter it without becoming extraordinary yourself. Your presence should be a privilege, not a comfort zone. You see, one of the greatest shifts in your life will happen when you stop trying to prove your worth missing, and start embodying the energy that makes people never want to lose you again. That shift doesn't come from manipulation or playing hard to get, or pretending you don't care. That shift comes from being so deeply connected to your own value that you become the one who decides who gets access to your heart. That's where your power lies, because the truth is, the woman who is truly missed isn't the one who clings or chases or begs for breadcrumbs. She's the one who walked away with dignity when the energy no longer aligned, the one who poured love but didn't abandon herself in the process. The one who was soft and strong, loving and discerning. That woman, she's unforgettable. That's the kind of woman that a man doesn't just miss. He remembers her in the quiet moments. He feels her in the gaps between shallow conversations and temporary flings. He aches for her when he realizes that connection like that isn't just rare, it's sacred. And maybe, just maybe, he'll rise to meet that standard. Maybe he'll do the work, face his fears, stop running from himself, and come back whole, not perfect but present, not flawless but committed. And if he does, you'll feel it in his energy too. You'll feel the shift. The man who misses you in his bones doesn't show up with apologies. He shows up with change. He's not there to make you relive the past. He's there to create a future. So the next time you find yourself wondering, does he miss me? I want you to stop. I want you to take a breath. And I want you to shift that question into something far more powerful. Is he showing up like a man who's ready for what I deserve? Because that's what matters. Let him miss you. Let him feel the absence of your energy. Your light, your love. But don't let that be the reason you lose yourself. Don't let it be the reason you shrink or wait or hope that someday he'll figure it out. You're not a pause in someone else's journey. You're the destination. And when a man is truly ready, when he's felt that ache long enough, when the missing turns into movement, you won't have to wonder if it's real. You'll feel it in every fiber of your being. When a man truly misses you, it's not something you'll need to analyze or decode. It's something you'll feel in his energy. You won't be left guessing, sitting by your phone waiting for a reply or rereading messages to find hidden meaning. Because a man who is missing you on a soul deep level radiates that ache in everything he does. He doesn't just reach out because he's bored or seeking attention. He reaches out with purpose, with presence, and with a kind of vulnerability that isn't about charm, it's about truth. Men don't always articulate emotions the way you might want them to. They're not all going to write paragraphs explaining how they feel, but emotion doesn't always come through words. It comes through behavior, tone, A, attention. When he misses you deeply, it shows in the way he listens when you speak, in the urgency of wanting to connect. A, in the way his entire demeanor shifts when he's in your presence or talking to you. There's a weight to his attention, a depth to his effort. A, it's not inconsistent. It's not filled with excuses. It's not reactive. It's intentional. He starts showing up differently because he's not just trying to get a reaction or fill a moment. He's trying to bridge a distance that hurts him. And that kind of energy can't be faked. You can feel the sincerity in the silence between his words. You can feel the difference between someone who's curious and someone who's craving the connection they lost. That kind of missing, the real kind, changes how he moves, how he speaks, and how he makes you feel. It's in his energy, and that energy doesn't lie. When your presence is something valuable, your absence doesn't go unnoticed. It creates clarity. And for many men, that clarity doesn't come while they're in the comfort of having you close. It comes when they're left with the silence. When your laughter isn't there to fill the room, when your emotional availability is no longer at their fingertips. That's when the realization begins to sink in, not just about missing you, but about what they didn't do to keep you. It's easy for someone to overlook what's constant when you were giving, loving, showing up. That energy may have been taken for granted. But once it's gone, once you've pulled your light back, there's no distraction strong enough to replace that kind of presence, that gap you leave. It becomes a mirror. He starts to see what he ignored, what he mishandled, what he didn't fight for. And most importantly, he starts to see himself, not just the version he showed you, but the one he avoided becoming. Your absence doesn't just hurt, it confronts. It forces reflection. It creates space for truth to rise to the surface. It's in that discomfort, that unease, that he starts to ask real questions. Why did she walk away? Why didn't I step up? What part of me wasn't ready to hold her heart the way she deserved? That's not just missing you, that's waking up. And here's the thing, not every man will have the courage to sit with those questions long enough to grow from them. But the ones who do, they come back different. Not because they're trying to win you over again, but because your absence gave them something their comfort never could, the clarity to change. Just because a man misses you doesn't mean he's ready for you. That's a distinction most people overlook. He might miss your presence, your warmth, your laughter. He might even miss the way you made him feel like a better man just by being in your life. But missing you is not the same as being capable of loving you in the way you deserve. It's easy to miss someone. It's much harder to show up for them, to earn their space, to protect what you once took for granted. Sometimes, when a man reaches out and says, I miss you, what he's really saying is, I miss the comfort you gave me. But that comfort, it's something you created. It's a product of your emotional effort, your patience, your strength. And if he hasn't grown since you left, if he's still offering the same version of himself that couldn't meet your needs, then he's not missing you. He's missing what you did for him. There's a big difference. Your job is not to rush back because someone feels your absence. Your job is to ask, has anything changed? Because love without growth leads you right back into the same patterns that broke you. Missing you is not a reason to hand him your heart again. It's a signal, and you have the power to decide what to do with it. You owe it to yourself to wait for the version of him who's ready, not just regretful, the one who's taken your absence as a lesson, not just a loss. That version, he won't just miss you, he'll be ready to honor you. And until that version shows up, your space is sacred. Not everyone deserves a second invitation. The most powerful transformation happens when you stop trying to prove your worth and start embodying it. When you stop chasing validation or clinging to hope that someone will suddenly realize what you already know deep down, that you are enough, that you are valuable, that you deserve to be loved fully and fiercely. This shift changes everything because it moves you from being reactive to being magnetic. Instead of trying to pull someone toward you, you become someone who naturally draws the right people in. You are not a pause in someone else's life. You are not a placeholder while someone figures things out or gets ready. You are the destination. When you stand in that truth, A, when you hold your boundaries with love and firmness, you create an energy that can't be ignored. The kind of woman who walks away with dignity, who refuses to settle for less than she deserves, leaves an imprint that lingers long after she's gone. That kind of presence is unforgettable. It's not about playing games or pretending you don't care. It's about being so connected to your own value that your self-respect becomes the foundation of every decision you make. When you embody that energy, you set a standard for yourself and for anyone who wants to be a part of your life. That standard says, I will not compromise my peace. I will not accept less than real love. And that standard changes how people see you, and more importantly, how they treat you. This is the woman who is not just missed but remembered. She's the one who made someone realize what real love feels like, not just a fleeting feeling, but a deep, lasting connection. That kind of woman doesn't need to chase because she already knows her worth. And the right person will move heaven and earth to be part of that energy. So when you truly grasp the power of your presence and the energy you carry, you begin to understand what it means for a man to miss you with every fiber of his being. It's not about fleeting words or empty gestures. It's about a shift in energy that can't be faked or ignored. It's about absence creating clarity. Pushing him to face himself and hopefully grow into the man worthy of your love. But more than that, it's about you standing firm in your worth, refusing to settle for less, and embodying a strength that naturally draws in the respect and love you deserve. Because the woman who is deeply missed is not just remembered, she is honored, valued, and cherished. And that is the kind of love worth waiting for and fighting for, not just from someone else, but most importantly, from yourself.